G'day and welcome to the MacPack.
We're back.
My name is Jamie Kenner and to my left this week in order the man on the panel who most often attends album club. It's my little brother Joe. How are you, boy?
Yes, every week or 6 to 4 weeks. I mean, every month. Yeah, I go to album club.
And to my right, coming in at 6'1" as he does each and every week, it's the baby brother of the pack. Who we call Junior Boy. Junior Boy, how are you, mate?
It's clearly not math club by the sounds of that attempt, Joe.
I feel like I sort of had a small stroke then. What did you say?
I meant to say every month / 6 to 4 weeks, but I said every week.
Even
And
still.
I made a blunder.
Just stop saying numbers. Let's get into it.
We've got a big show on the cards today. We're chatting about your album club
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah, baby.
We also have a little bit of a radio.
That's right. Jake was on radio, but not the normal radio.
Oh, exactly right. We're chatting about Easter as that upons us this weekend. Performance reviews are in, and Riley's got an everyday hero. It's a massive app. Let's get into it. Boys.
Brother Mingo.
How are we all? Are we all well? We all
That was
well?
beautiful.
Good Friday, guys. Happy Good Friday.
Happy Good Friday.
We made it.
Happy Good Friday. Good Friday.
And to all a good night.
Happy Good Friday. Joe mentioned earlier, very funnily,
What?
every year since we started, we release an episode on Good Friday.
I know, right?
Every Good Friday.
And I was like, what are the chances of that? And then I went,
Wait.
oh, that makes sense. 100% chance.
Yeah,
of that.
100%.
For me, every Friday is a Good Friday.
They're
Every Friday for me
Wow.
is a great Friday.
Oh.
And then one day of the year I have to take
a
a
good
knee
Yeah.
and say, this is a
Let
Good Friday.
it be good.
That's true.
good.
Why do we call the day that Jesus died Good Friday?
No one knows.
Like, what makes it good?
I don't
Let's
know.
ask freaking our best friend of the show.
Jesus.
God.
Yeah.
Chat GPT.
There was a few people that I thought you... There was one bloke in particular who we've been chatting to quite a bit recently who I thought you might be about to call and ask for that very...
Pope Francis.
Madonna 2.0. What was his name?
Archbishop.
Minogue
Minogue.
2.0. I thought it was going to be, but we're going to chat instead.
Archbishop Timothy Costello. You know when chat like loads?
Oh, it's good fun.
Yeah. You can tell
Suspense
it's coming
is-
back with something juicy. It's thinking.
The suspense is upon us.
Good equals holy or pious.
Pious.
Pious, yeah.
Pontius Pious.
What does pious mean, Joe?
I guess good / holy.
Yeah, the term good in Good Friday likely comes from an older usage of the word meaning holy, righteous, or sacred. Not good as in happy or positive. It also sounds like goodbye, which similar to goodbye, which originally meant good God be with ye. Oh! They went hard with goodbye.
God be with.
there.
That's a good. Imagine you're saying goodbye to someone. It's a Friday. You're heading off. God be with you.
Wow.
And also with you.
And also with you and with your spirit.
Other countries call it different things. So in Germany, they call it Karfreitag Friday, which means sorrowful Friday.
Oh,
See, that's
okay.
more
That would-
appropriate.
Yeah, in my opinion.
In French, they say Vendredi Saint equals, which also means Holy Friday.
Even holy's nice.
Holy's good.
And Verno Santo.
Good
not
is not
good.
good.
Good is.
Verno Santo. Homo is Spanish for Holy Friday as well.
There you go. Well,
you go,
you can't leave
guys.
this week's episode saying you didn't learn anything.
That's it. Good Friday. Get up and about.
Now, Joey, you love books. So the idea of trading in a book club for an album club seemed
Gimpy.
bizarre. Bit of a twist of personality, maybe?
Yeah, so for the past almost 2 years, me and my buddies have been doing album club,
Hell yeah.
which is where we pick an album and we all listen to it. And then we come back and we discuss a month later.
I like it.
A whole month. So you got to have it on. Do you listen to it once or is it like this is exclusively all you can listen to for a
No,
month?
you listen to it as much as you can, as much as you need to, as much as you want to get into the album.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you discuss, some people bring up these are the lyrics that I like.
Oh, yeah.
I looked up the meaning of this track.
Nice.
Okay.
It's good. We get into it and then we obviously rate out of 10 the album.
Ooh.
I do find these sorts of things, book clubs, album club, mind you, you're the only album club I've ever heard of. Book clubs I'm well aware of.
Yeah.
I find them tough because you're often with quite a large, let's say 8 people,
Yep.
varying levels of interest.
Yeah.
And then, like, I struggle to read the books that I've gone out and fucking bought myself, let alone someone being like, all right, by the way, this month, you got to read that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to read. I've never had an interest in that.
That's why Album Club is good because like the longest album we've done is probably like an hour 10.
Yep.
So it's like it's not that much of a commitment to like listen to.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
crack it
that's
out
true.
in a quarter of, 1/24 of a day.
Yeah, so the typical what we do is it's 7 young hip lads and we get together and we crank out an album.
Yeah.
And then obviously you're hanging out with the boys, you got to be drinking.
Yeah.
So we'll be cracking down some tea.
Yeah.
That's right. We'll be sipping an Earl Grey, potentially a herbal, and we're just sort of getting into the nitty gritty.
So you literally all just sit around and drink tea?
Yeah, we do. And then actually, so we used to go around to different houses, but recently some of the boys have moved out. That's right. It's a bit of a party house we've been going to lately. So Album Club has changed, dare I say, dramatically.
Right.
Now we get to
Now
Album Club.
we're bashing up Coke.
Because
We're
we
racking
had
up lines.
we had Album Club here a couple times.
Yeah, how would you describe it?
Oh, to be a fly on the wall. I never saw it. I never saw it in action.
It was cool. Yeah, it was chill. It was chill. It was cash.
Where
it
did
was
you?
nice.
Which room of the house did you do it in?
If it was summer, we'd venture outside.
Okay. What?
If it was winter,
Albums
we'd
by
head
the-
indoors.
Albums by the pool. What,
Yeah.
what about when you're indoors? Which room?
The
main.
room.
Where mum and dad.
So where
are
would you
right
put the
now.
rest of the family? They just told
They
me.
fucked off because
Oh.
it was Album Club, baby.
Where's it coming over?
But
Okay.
things have changed lately because we've actually been going to friend of the show, guest of the show, Wesley Black's house.
Massive. Has he moved out?
Yeah, he lives with
Don't mention
Couple of
names.
the boys.
2 other boys,
Yeah,
2
cool,
other
that's
lads.
Things
And-
must be going well for Big
Must
Wes.
be very nice.
That
over there.
international tour he did last year.
Yeah.
Must be paying.
To Costa
very,
Rica.
Very nice. What happens in Costa Rica stays in Costa Rica.
So now things have devolved a bit because now we get there and sort of people get there early. Some people are tardy in the group. They get there late.
How
So
late?
while we're like an hour and a half sometimes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, some
they're,
of these
they're
guys,
cramming. They're listening to the music in the car in the
Yeah.
driveway.
some of these, they are tardy and they are known to be tardy. So we get there and then while we're waiting, we crank either
Each other.
YouTube compilations of people slipping over,
Nice.
animals gone wild,
MacPack.
or there are these YouTube channels, right, where it's like a quiz, but it's like a 10-minute long YouTube video.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just like a quiz.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So we just do them.
Music ones?
Music, film,
Yeah, yeah.
anything.
Me and my mates did that when we had Kate on. Remember, we did one about music, and it was if you got one wrong, you had to strip.
Yeah, we don't do that quite.
Imagine that you come late to Album Club and there's just like 6 blokes in the nude.
Cranking each other.
Yeah, we also will. Wesley Black is very much into his WWE.
Yeah.
We were watching some of that. He'll
Hell
show
yeah.
us the highlights, give us a bit of the backstory.
Fantastic.
John Cena's turned evil. Pretty crazy.
Right.
But this latest one, we did a country album.
Ooh.
A country album from the 60s called Tans Van Zandt.
I'm familiar.
I opened the door. I was the first one there. And then the 2 boys who lived there in Album Club are rocking full cowboy
I love
kits
that.
with the bolo, you
I
know,
love
the
that.
bolo tie.
Yeah, yeah. The rope one.
Yeah, the rope one. Rope tie. We walk in. They give me a cowboy hat because we're waiting for the guy who picked it because obviously
Oh, okay.
he's
yeah.
going to be up and about. They're all dressed as cowboys.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
like that. That's nice. That's nice community.
And then we didn't really think much of it. We talked about the album. Those guys are still dressed as cowboys. And then we get a knock on the door.
Oh, someone came a knocking.
And then so Ricky gets up.
Were you not
heads to
expecting
the-
a knock on the door?
We
though?
were not expecting a knock on the
Everyone's
door.
coming to the party.
He gets a knock on the door, runs to there, and then we just hear door opens, a voice that says, "Oh, I bet you weren't expecting me." And it was in like a middle-aged woman's voice.
Hell yeah, dude. Who
And-
ordered her?
And there's 3 blokes in cowboy
Cowboy
gear
kits, yeah.
sitting on the couch.
Naked, cranking each other.
And then she walks in and she says, she like, again.
She walks
so
in, so she comes into the house.
She's in like the lounge room now.
Right.
And yeah, like Ricky's still dressed as a cowboy.
Wesley Black. Yeah.
Wesley, yeah. And she's like, firstly, who is here is in the red type of a car, like an Iconic,
Oh,
the
yeah.
red Kia, let's say.
I know who that
Okay.
is.
And then she says, because you're illegally parked. And then we're like, oh shit, it's a park knock. But she said, you're illegally parked and you've just been reversed into by the girl that lives they're in like a unit, there's that units or whatever.
Yeah.
By one of the girls who lives 2 units down. And by the way, and then she was like,
And he's dressed as a cowboy?
this one's not dressed as a cowboy.
Okay.
The sheriffs are though.
Right. Your horse has been killed.
Yeah, so you're going to have to go out and duel them. So she's like, there, you've been hit. You've been rear-ended. Not rear-ended, backed into.
Yeah.
And she's
But
like,
how?
so he was it's, so there's like a street, right? And then in the middle of the street, there's like a median strip there's nothing there. It's like just a big block there.
Okay.
And like,
you're not meant to park there, though.
there's so many cars on the street that park there.
Right.
I park on the curb, but it's even at the point where I'm like, no one else is parking on the curb. Am I doing the wrong thing?
Right.
Apparently the curb is good to go. Good to go, guys. That's parking advice I can put my finger on.
1 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess.
Anyway, so she's like, yeah, you're illegally parked. You've been backed into. My son saw it happen. And
They're going to press charges against you.
and also it was 2 units down. It was their friend. And then she was like, oh, and by the way, don't go down there. They are dodgy as fuck.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so
then
did they drive off?
They drove off, yeah.
Oh, so the guy has had his car smashed up, and then the person who hit
It's
it
a hit and run.
has run. Yeah,
It's a
cool.
Simpsons hit and run.
Oh, so
Good
now,
time to be dressed as a cowboy if you're going to be in pursuit of someone, I guess.
But now, so originally the guy who was illegally parked was in the wrong, even if they backed out into them because they're in the wrong.
Just because you're parked in the wrong spot doesn't mean
you can drive into a car.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but then you have a defense. You say, well, there's not meant to be a car there legally.
yeah, but you're not meant to
So-
I
hit.
think hit and run
Yeah, well, now that you've run,
is worse than
then you're back in the
in the
cage
grips of the law.
Yeah.
Yes. So he ended up writing a note
Oh,
to
no.
the first house to get the CCTV.
Oh,
And then we'll see how it goes from there.
Oh,
But we haven't heard anything else.
No, this is 2 days ago.
And which part of the car did they bonk?
The front.
Okay. So could he drive
side.
home?
He could drive home. It was just scratched.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, this could be one for the sheriffs.
This is huge.
That's massive.
More on this soon, I hear.
Yeah,
I hope.
hopefully this.
Hopefully, yeah. And
Hopefully it comes to a nice resolution. But
Yeah.
if it takes a while, that could also be.
yeah, and
Quite
also
fun.
it was kind of like at first everyone was like, "Oh shit, like that's crazy," and then
Who was the woman? Just the neighbor.
just the neighbor, yeah.
And
and-
she knew the bloke who lived at the house. She was familiar with these people.
Yeah, she knows.
Okay.
Yeah, she
And-
knows.
Like did the cowboy dress up get mentioned?
Not at all. And then,
So he walked to the door,
yeah,
dressed fully as a cowboy, and at no point
And he
did.
lassoed
didn't mention,
her.
no. And it's like,
And then she came
I
out
was
and
also-
sat and saw 3 blokes
and
sitting.
the 2 guys who lived there were dressed as cowboys, and then like no one else was dressed as cowboys. So it's not like it was a cowboy themed thing. It's just like, oh, these guys are cowboys, and they're my
Yeah.
neighbors.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did notice. Like,
If I walked in to anyone's house and there was a group of lads sitting on a couch and 2 of them were dressed up as cowboys, I would very much be thinking this is a little bit of a Brokeback Mountain
Yeah,
type
for sure.
situation going on.
Joey, I got something for you, bro.
yeah,
I was-
do it.
I was driving.
Give it to me, man,
Whoa. We're still.
and then we can do the same.
I was driving to the gym the other night,
Oh yeah,
and when I'm driving to the gym, I love to throw the radio on.
you gotta listen to the radio.
You are one of the only people, and we love radio more than most people, but you are one of the only people that I know who religiously listens to the radio at the moment.
That's it, man. You got to hear what's been going on the
It's on the
stations,
airwaves.
dude.
Are you a hunter?
What'd
Or
you call
gatherer?
me? Yeah, I
Are
flick
you
around.
going around? You
I'm
flicking
flicking around.
And do you flick for songs or you flick for talk?
I'm
breaks?
flicking for talking.
Yeah.
I noticed that the other, I've been listening.
Oh, just an ad.
Yeah.
I've
Sometimes
been-
I like the ads as well.
I've been listening to the radios on my laptop, but live because we get it delayed here. So I listen to it live over there. I was saying to Taylor the other day while we're both working from home and listening.
And then you're like, oh, it's time. Oh, we've just took over 5.
But I'm the only person that seems to turn the music down when the songs come on and then turn up the talk break. Like
Yeah.
everyone else does the opposite. And I just,
Yeah.
I literally just muted the music and then turned to her and I said, I feel like that's like quite a weird thing. Not many people do that. I was going to say a specific word, but anyway, we won't say that. Anyway, play on.
Play on. Anyway, I was driving to the gym listening to one of my favorite stations, Nova.
Of
Of course.
Listening to a good friend of the show, Liam Stapleton from Ben Liam and Bell. When I hear a Gimp's voice come on the radio.
Oh,
Don't call Liam. Don't
Leave
call
him
Liam.
alone.
Usually it wasn't
lovely
Ben
guy.
Liam nor Bell that were the Gimps in this situation. It was another person, Joey boy.
there's a gimp on Nova.
Did you listen to me? Listening?
I was not tuned in on Forge. I happened to miss this show.
Well, what do they love to do on commercial radio? Giveaways! That's right. And what was happening in Australia last week, Joe? Specifically, the southern part of it.
It's got to be Gather Round.
South Australia, Adelaide's Gather Round.
Gather Round.
And Nova were doing a cheeky little promo,
Oh,
giving away some free stuff to do with Gather Round.
what could it be? A footy? A free footy? A free Nova branded footy? From the Nova Player app?
Yeah, shout out the Nova Player app. They were doing a giveaway, and you have to like answer some questions
Of
or
course.
some in order to like win the flights and tickets to some
Yeah.
Gather Round games.
Were they hard questions?
Nah.
Like any moron could get.
I'm gonna play you one soon, and I
Yeah.
reckon any moron
Yeah.
could get this. Do we want to hear who I heard on the
Yeah, I'd love to
radio?
hear a gimp on the radio.
Let's hear which gimp
Jay,
was
you've
on
been
the
really
radio.
quiet.
Yep, all thanks to the Pepsi
Is this
Collective.
him?
We want to
No,
bring
this is a
you to
professional
gather around
radio.
with us. We are road tripping there on Thursday. I cannot wait.
Yeah, this is going to be an unreal trip. And to get in the draw, you just got to answer one single question about Adelaide right. Jake in Perth, have you ever been to Adelaide before?
Nah, never.
Oh, well, hey, good time to head this weekend, I suppose.
What's the one thing you know about Adelaide? When you think Adelaide, what do you think?
Footy.
Good answer, mate. Good answer. Okay, well, can you at least name the three colours of the Port Adelaide team?
Let's go with black, white, and teal.
You've done it, Jake. Well done, mate. I suppose as a Pies man, you know that there's a bit of teal in there because you certainly wouldn't have black and white.
You are in the draw. We could be calling you tomorrow to give you the good news that you have won the trip to Gather Round.
You've done it. You won the quiz.
Yeah, well, they asked me a few more questions than I was initially told I'd be
Yeah,
asking.
yeah. Everyone else just got the one question, but they liked you, dude.
Yeah.
There was a bit of banter.
Adelaide, known for the footy.
Do you think Liam could sniff out the fact that he'd talked to you
Is
for an
this-
hour before?
I don't know. Don't. Surely
pod?
not.
Probably
Surely
not.
not.
He might know a couple Jakes from Perth.
Jackson Perth.
Or he's
Yeah.
forgotten about the only Jake from Perth he knows.
I wonder if he was like, this guy could be in broadcasting when you asked you a question and you said, buddy. He was like, this guy's got the stuff.
I don't know what it is, but this is it.
I wasn't expecting to answer any like
Do you know-
premeditated questions.
It's a national show. They're live coast to coast from 6 to 8 p.m. every day. And that's you, Jake. You're talking to the nation.
And,
Anyone can hear.
Like, yeah, that's terrifying. But also, did you notice like the question was, well, the statement was, "Have you ever been to Adelaide?" And I said no.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "What's one thing you know about Adelaide?" And it's like,
I've never been there.
yeah, that's what I should have said.
Yeah, he already had the questions.
Aren't you guys
before.
from there? Why are you asking me?
Yeah, they are from Adelaide. Anyway, so before you got, I've never done like a radio like call-in job.
They're
you
good
know?
fun. They're good fun.
You did one on 6PR, didn't you?
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I did
That was a bit
actually
less
last
fun,
year. I got that. I
What was that one
won.
about?
I actually won that.
You get a fridge magnet or something?
No, they didn't give me fucking anything, which was a bit of a shame. Probably
the
nice.
segment was like 40 minutes.
We
The segment went for so long, and it was like, we're gonna play a song, and you got to guess what the song is. And I went, I'm gonna do that. I got
Yeah,
a
I got
phone.
Shazam.
Yeah, and I literally Shazammed it, and then rang in and said it. And he said, "Yeah, perfect. You got it right. You don't win anything." And I was like,
Yeah, because we all know everyone who answers this is cheating. Do you think everyone cheats? Because
I
like,
was on
if-
hold for 30 minutes. Like,
For them?
not for
Oh.
these guys, for the 6VR crew.
Yeah, yeah. What
These
about,
guys were way more efficient.
how long were you on hold for with Ben Liam and Bell?
About 6 minutes. I copped a song, and then I had to remain on hold while the competition was going.
And did they tell you like, don't swear? Like, is there any like
Nah.
sort of...
I'm surprised people
And
don't.
the guys are going to talk to you and you'll know when the guys are talking to you because they'll
He said,
say
when we
this.
come back from a song, you'll be the first one up. Get ready.
So you can
no,
hear-
and then he rang. He goes, have fun with it. And I said, all right, I can do that. I'm going to have fun with it.
And the producers are sitting there like, yes, he had fun with it. But there we go. So, Jake, you entered the battle and there was a couple of hours there where You were in the running, dude.
In the run.
Yeah,
You
the
were in
whole
the
day
running.
I was
It's
in
an
the
honour
running.
to be
And then
nominated.
I actually didn't see you for most of the weekend.
Because he was packing.
Yeah. So, did you end up going together? Have you seen this little gimp?
No, not recently.
Because the current time we're recording this is on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We usually record on Monday.
think
Oh,
I've
yeah,
done-
what we were.
Like, were you
think
catching a flight back last night? Or like, was it my birthday dinner? or
It was your
something?
birthday. It was definitely your birthday. We did radio on Saturday.
We did. But you could have
could've
gone
come
straight
back straight
after.
after the game.
Yeah, you could have gone straight after. Let's hear if Jake won.
Now, all last week we were putting people in the draw,
Yes.
but we are about to announce a winner.
Fingers
We
crossed.
do have a winner on the line. That's going to be Vanessa in Sydney.
Oh my God, thanks so much.
You've won. You're coming on the trip with us.
Now, what I did hear about Vanessa, because I was listening live, I noticed they hadn't called me back the whole day.
Yeah.
That was sort of a giveaway when they did that bit.
Yeah.
She also had never been to Adelaide. I thought it was going to be a big, strong case for me as to why I was going to get picked, because
You
you've
never
never
been.
been to Adelaide.
Yeah.
And not only that, what's the one thing I love about Adelaide?
Footy.
And they were going to give me tickets to the footy.
she
So I
got-
thought I was perfect.
Vanessa went for Sydney, and she said she was so excited to see the Swans win.
Yeah,
And
well,
they
they
were
got-
versus the Pies, and we
They
bashed them,
got
Joey.
absolutely pumped into the ground. Take that, Chad.
Vanessa would have had a ripping weekend.
Alrighty, boys, we talked about this on the pod, and I reckon it was about 4 years ago now.
That's crazy.
Could have been on Good Friday.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's a very Easter themed topic, but much like the Olympics itself,
Yeah. Everyone loves the Olympics.
every 4 years we aren't bored that the Olympics has reared its ugly head
Yeah.
again. We go, Olympics is back,
Yeah.
and so I thought
Gout
today
is going to win.
Gout, yeah.
I thought that today I would explain to you boys as we near Easter exactly why Easter chocolate tastes better than your standard chocolate.
Oh.
And there are 5 key pillars to it. But before we get to them, it's time to debut a brand new segment.
Investigated.
Now, we're basically going to use this period to investigate different elements, all right? So that sting is basically meaning we're going to do some investigative work.
Yeah, that's right.
Investigative journalism.
We've done it in the
Incoming.
past. We've done it in the past with Macca's price gouging per shop. We've done it with
We have.
how much the Woolworth CEO got paid
Yeah.
per hour, per
A lot
minute,
of
per
Woolies
second.
gear.
Yeah. And we thought we may as well make it a seggy, dude, because
Yeah.
we're doing it a lot.
And today we're going to do Easter chocolate. So today I'm going to tell you 5 reasons why Easter chocolate tastes better than your standard chocolate. Number 1,
Here we go.
it melts faster, which means it tastes better.
Oh.
Now,
That is
Easter
true.
chocolate is usually much thinner than your standard chocolate.
Yep.
Which means it is quicker to melt because it's a lot thinner, right?
Okay.
Standard.
The triggering point of this is that if it melts quicker, your taste buds taste it quicker.
Ah, is that why when you have like fridge chocolate,
It tastes shit.
horrible? Yeah.
Because your taste buds are like sort of waiting for it to melt. Now, the melting point of chocolate is between 32 and 34 degrees, which is just under body temperature.
Yep.
So it slowly melts when it's standard chocolate, but when it is Easter chocolate and it's just like an egg, for example, it's quicker to melt, which means you taste it a lot quicker.
I like it.
Interesting.
That makes sense.
Wait,
That's
so-
valid.
But does that mean the little solid eggs are different?
Don't read into it, Joe.
Okay, yeah.
Good question. I would imagine the normal chocolate. I would agree with that. I would agree that the bigger eggs, even like the bunnies in particular,
Yeah.
I find taste a lot better than your hard, hollow. Not hollowed eggs.
The
The
hard
opposite.
eggs.
Solid eggs. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like an extra 2 seconds of it's not as good yet.
So interesting. But that's only one reason.
Number 2, the shape and snap of the chocolate
Yeah.
tricks your brain. That satisfying crack from biting into an egg
Yeah.
signals to your brain that there is freshness and quality built in,
Oh.
which enhances the taste buds perception. This has been backed. I've done research
I was
on
gonna
this.
say
This has been
This has
back.
been backed by Oxford's gastrophysics research on both sound
Okay.
and on sound and food,
The gastrophysicists are in.
which I think means like if you were to eat a carrot, for example, that snap that you get with the
Yeah,
carrot
that's why-
indicates freshness. When you bite into an apple, you're like, this is fresh.
Because like when I bite into a carrot, I'm like, yeah, but then I hear that snap and I'm like,
Number 3 is you're emotionally biased in a good way to Easter.
yes, because you're
Easter-
hyped about the whole crucifixion thing.
You're pumped.
You get nothing about
Jesus is back, baby.
Easter equals nostalgia, joy, and good memories, which is apparently meant to scientifically boost your brain's flavor experience. Positive associations can increase perceived sweetness alone by up to 25%, and that is backed by a psychological. No, sorry.
Physiological.
Psychological.
So people have been studying
psychological
Easter
journaling.
chocolate.
Yeah,
Wow.
from 2016.
That's valid. I like that. That makes sense. I agree with that one.
Now we're getting into the thick of it. I really.
There's got to be ingredients difference. It can't all just be.
Aura.
It can't just be like you think it's not.
Yeah. You
Now
think it's that.
I did read.
Yeah, it has crack cocaine.
There was something in my research that mentioned that very thing, Joe. I believe that there may be like a different level of fat content in it. Let me quickly just check on
I
my
always thought it
research
was
paper.
bunny magic.
Bunny magic. Yeah.
Bunny man.
Bunny magic. Yeah, not too confused.
Yeah, I
with-
thought they were just. I thought they were just like.
I thought the recipe was just different.
Yeah, like slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
like.
should do a blind.
We could.
But you'd be able to feel
The crack. So if I melted down a block of Cadbury dairy milk and then hard put into an egg shape, it would taste better.
Potentially. But okay, I've got another one in between. This is not
I think
point.
me melting it.
This is not point 4, but this is just a subsidiary
4.5.
point.
Okay, 3.5.
Possible recipe differences.
Okay.
While brands like Cadbury claim their recipe is the same, many fans and scientists suspect small changes in both the tempering method, the cooling time, and most importantly, in my opinion, the chocolate to fat ratio. Cadbury uses different molding and cooling processes for their Easter eggs, which can impact texture, snap, and melt rate, which is crucial for taste.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Do you guys rate chocolate?
Love it.
Yeah, but Easter chocolate significantly
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Chocolate is just, to me, the greatest food ever made. Like, I don't get when people are like, I'm not that into chocolate.
What do you mean? You
What is wrong with you?
I've got 2 more points. Number 4 is that Easter chocolate is fresher than normal standard chocolate. Because it's seasonal, it's made and sold very quickly. It's not on the shelf for very long, which means it needs to remain fresher and it has a much creamier taste to it because it hasn't had to sit there for anywhere near as long.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true. You could be getting a dairy milk block.
Yeah.
From like,
But pre-COVID.
Apparently, over 50% of Easter chocolate is bought
By me.
in the 2 weeks. In the 2 weeks before Easter.
Yeah.
Which does check out. Who's
Yeah,
buying?
shit,
Like, if it said any other number there,
80% of Thanksgiving turkeys are bought the day before Thanksgiving.
That's like, yeah, I do walk past Easter bunnies and shit at the shops like for the last 2 months, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get it yet. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, wait.
Although, but really,
even though, like, why
have you
am I
bought
not
anything?
getting? Why am I not? No, nothing.
based on
I
this,
know.
you better to, the second you see them,
Eat it.
just start shoving them in.
yeah.
And lastly, point 5, the people agree that chocolate at Easter does taste differently. 78% of people from Britain alone say Easter eggs taste better than their regular chocolate.
Wow. The
Enough
Brits.
said. I'm amazed that there's research behind this.
Absolutely, there is.
How's the whole cancer stuff going? Crack that one.
Let's shift our focus back to the big C. The other big C.
Yes, on his glorious day.
Got Cadbury?
No, cancer and chocolate.
Oh,
What were you?
I was thinking Christ.
Oh. How about we let the audience decide?
Yeah.
You guys can interpret
Do you,
that.
prefer-
however.
prefer, do you prefer cancer, Christ,
Cadbury
or
or
Cadbury? Alrighty, boys, it's time for our favourite weekly segment. It's our only weekly segment. It's time for our Everyday hero.
Boys, I just wanted to put it out there real quick that we are Catholic, so we can make Christ jokes like we
Of course,
just did.
yes. Because we're in the club.
That's right. We're in the club, dude.
Yes.
We've all been
Yeah,
baptized.
we will be heading to reconciliation after.
Boys, I've got a question for you. Because we're breaking into the everyday hero right now.
We are.
Have you guys ever heard of Jesus Christ?
No.
Yes.
Going to talk about our Christ and Savior.
Yes, quite the story.
The everyday Savior.
Boys, have you ever heard of Radio Man?
Nah.
Jake.
No, it's not quite Jake. I'm going to tell you a story about a man called Radio Man. That's what his name is. That's how everybody knows him.
Okay.
He was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1950, dude. He served in the
Do
US.
do the whole thing. Do the whole thing with the accent.
Radio Man was born in New York in 1950. He served in the US Army and the US Postal Service after that.
Very different jobs.
He then battled with alcoholism and mental health issues and became homeless, living in places like the Penn Station.
Okay.
Oh, I think I do know this guy.
Don't spoil the story, Joey
Yeah,
boy.
he owes me money.
In 1989, he stumbled onto a film set whilst homeless and refused to leave his newsstand. So the filmmakers let him appear as an extra. And the reason he's called Radio Man is because he hangs a radio, like an old-timey, like big silver box radio
Yeah.
around
Oh,
his
yeah.
neck, and it just sits like, it's almost like a necklace.
Yeah.
And he
okay.
always has the radio there. That's why.
Is it
people-
on?
Okay, I don't know this guy.
Usually, yeah. It can be turned on or off.
Yeah, I get how that.
By
I get how.
battery power. And so he didn't want to, he was like, I'm not leaving the newsstand. And then he was an extra in a Hollywood film. Anyway, he then grew a love for this, and he just, whenever he saw a film taking place, he would just hang out there on set and just like walk around, and he became trespass. But then he became like a lovable character for all these Hollywood films, and he's now featured as an extra in 300 Hollywood movies.
3 films.
That's right. He's-
300, that's crazy.
300's huge. Is there any notable films that we can spend our long Easter weekend looking for
So
him?
he's kind of like, you know, the Wilhelm scream?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
that's just...
Explain
Oh,
that.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
What's that?
So, like, in movies, like, you'll just be watching, like, a random movie, and then, like, someone will fall, and there was this one sound effect.
it's like a stock
that's
screen.
like, yeah, it's, it's just, like, used all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Anyway.
that's what this guy's like, but for extras.
Yeah, right. And then, so he appeared in pop culture iconic films such as Elf, The Departed, Shutter Island, The Bourne Identity.
These are big
He's
films.
doing- yeah.
The entire Bourne series.
A lot
he
of
was in.
Damon stuff.
His celebrity friends
Damon?
included Damon, Whoopi Goldberg, Robin Williams, George Clooney, Meryl Streep. And in 2012, there was a documentary made about his life called Radio Man.
I'm intrigued. I'd never heard of this.
I thought you were talking about there's a guy called the man with the golden voice.
Yeah, no. The reason I heard
what I
about
thought
it,
it was.
the reason I heard about it was Samuel L. Jackson was on a morning show in New
Okay.
York, and he was mid show, and he was like, "Oh my god, look over there, out the window." He was like, "That's Radio Man," and then he told the whole story about how he's worked with him heaps. Anyway,
Get him in.
Is he-
Radio Man's been in more films than Sam has. Get him
Yeah.
in.
due to him gaining these roles, he was eventually getting cash from these gigs, and his
He's got a slightly better radio.
he would now he's no longer homeless.
Now he's Boombox Boy.
Now he's no longer homeless, and he's doing really well.
Well, that's fantastic.
Good on him.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Superstar.
And now
Part of his gig to make money though was to be on the street. So hopefully, like he's still.
But it seems like
Still
these
crushing
people, like, they really liked him.
people
Yeah.
now see Radio Man as a good luck charm. They
Wow.
think that if Radio Man's going to be an extra in your film, it's a good luck charm and he's blessing the set if you're shooting in the streets of New York City. So there you
That's
go.
pretty
Wow.
Everybody loves Radio Man.
We love it. That's fantastic. That's a really good story.
Yeah.
So this week's Everyday Hero is going to Radio Man
he's still-
for bringing good energy.
Yeah, he turned his life around just by showing up every day.
There you go. They do say showing up is what 90% of the gig.
Yeah. The second is having like a big radio.
An iconic look and feel.
Yeah.
So this week's Everyday Hero is going to Radio Man for doing what 90% of the job is and just showing up. Alrighty, boys, it's been a full week since we have opened up the floodgates to get a performance review.
That's right.
We are being reviewed as we speak.
We're under review.
Surprised by how many people have already done
They got opinions.
done the review. For those who are just listening for the first time, firstly, welcome. Second, 239. Interesting place to start, but welcome along for the ride. What we are throwing out there is it's nearly 5 years that we've been doing the podcast, and very rarely have we ever suggested people let us know what they think about us. In a negative sense, we often ask for 5-star reviews, which we continue to get on Spotify and Apple Pods, which we love.
Smack them down.
Over 200 on Spotify.
Yeah,
if you want
that's
to be,
actually pretty good.
that's very good.
Yeah, it's
Keep
crazy.
clicking, guys.
If I knew if I could find 200 people who thought I was 5 out of 5, I would
Oh.
love to meet them. So if you haven't given us a review yet, do it on Spotify or Apple Pods. Here's the tip: if you've done it on Spotify, you're allowed to legally do it on Apple Pods. So head over and do that. Now, as part of the performance review, it's completely anonymous, right?
Nice, nice.
Which is also inevitably gonna mean that we're gonna get some pretty curly comments
Honest.
that have come through. Yeah,
Which is what we want.
which
We
is
want honesty.
exactly what we want. We aren't going to do this with all the ones that we get, but I have found a couple through the bunch that we've received this week, and
Okay.
I thought I would read them out because neither of you have seen them yet.
No.
'Cause I think
No.
we'll collate them after a while, and then we'll sit down and do a proper review of them.
Yeah,
But
obviously.
for the time being, let's just do them for entertainment's sake. I will read out a couple of the best ones because we don't have super long, and I don't want to do this because we realistically could sit and do a whole performance review podcast, which would get a bit hairy, I reckon. So let's just do them a little bit by bit to begin. Now, one of the questions here, and they aren't all like this, but one of the questions is, what do you love about the MacPack, right?
Ooh, I like that one.
And you can write in whatever you want, which means you can say fuck all if you wanted to. But this kind individual said, as somebody who grew up in Perth but now lives in Melbourne, it's always great to hear South Street get mentioned.
Shit.
Hell yeah.
It's just got that local feel to it.
It does. We're a
So,
homegrown show.
yeah.
People are enjoying the mention of South Street. And the funny thing about South Street is, as long as you live south, you know what South Street is.
Yeah.
Because it
Sure.
runs
a main
between
character.
Fremantle
And
all the way
Melbourne.
through to Canberra. Yeah. Which is really impressive. That is very south. So that's a nice point. Went on to say he doesn't really dislike anything about the podcast, which is either really nice
Maybe a casual listener.
or a subtle. No, he's not a casual listener because he says he listens to both the pod, he or her. Sorry, they don't mention if it's a. We don't ask that question. They mention that they listen to both the podcast and the radio
Oh,
show.
a diehard.
Wow. That's a lot.
A Bruce
Thank
Willis.
you.
Which
Thank
we
you.
nearly record the radio show on South Street. That would be a huge. If we did, we would mention that every week. Coming to you live from South Street. One piece of honest feedback you'd give the boys: go on tour, you fuckers. Which
Okay.
Ooh.
Not really feedback.
More of a suggestion.
I
idea.
like that. That's cool. Yeah, he wants to meet us in the fleshlight.
Well, we would have gone.
He or she. Sorry, I keep doing
We
that.
would have gone on tour if Bentley and Bell gave us tickets to bloody gather
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, we
But
could have
the
toured.
all-around
We could have
show.
toured to
They should have
Adelaide.
got some decent content out of that.
But Vanessa was bloody on tour.
Vanessa. I wonder what Vanessa's podcast is. We should tune in.
The Nest Pack.
And then the last question we ask is, all right, we're all friends here. Roast the lads, and we might share these on air.
Yeah.
And this individual's was quite good.
So is this different to the last person, or is this the
This
same?
is the
person?
same person.
So this person. Wow.
This is-
Okay.
What do you mean?
Damn. I just wasn't expecting this person to feature on the show this much, but I love it.
They said, "Oh, the MacPack podcast?" Question mark. More like three blokes trying to turn group chat banter into content and proving that not everything needs a mic. They call it a podcast, but it sounds more like a recording of a sibling argument in a Honda Civic. You'd get a more structured conversation from a pack of seagulls fighting over a chip.
It sounds like chat. Dude.
Yeah, I know one as well.
I talk to chat all day, every day. I know when chat is.
reader ugly head.
Yeah. Burn the MacPack podcast. You could type that in chat and then give you it. There you go.
That's pretty good. We'll go one more. We've got time for one more.
Appreciate it anyway.
Yeah, one more.
Do you want to do one more?
Yeah.
All right, another one coming through. Now, I have no idea if it's a man, woman, or child or chat. This one was interesting because we've put in, how did you hear about the MacPack?
Yeah.
And you can chuck in like your friends told you found us on Instagram or TikTok or on the radio,
Yep.
or if you're friends with us. This person clicked other.
Ooh.
I feel like we sort of covered everything though.
Well, I thought so too. They went on to say my ex situationship is the reason that they heard about us, which is cool. So someone that they were previously hanging out with must have liked the show.
Okay.
And as a result, they recommended. So that's fair. They didn't recommend it by a friend. It was by
An enemy.
well, at least there was something good that came out of the relo.
Yeah.
That's a good shout. There you go.
Maybe she listened and was like, I need to break up with this person.
Based off of what?
Maybe she wasn't a fan originally.
Or he. We don't know.
Or them.
We keep doing that.
Yeah,
we
could
have
have
no
been one, could have
idea.
been Anyway.
It's funny how your mind jumps to a gender based on the
Yeah.
responses.
Yeah.
Because I don't know any blokes. No, that's not true. What do you love about the pod? Pick Up Please is hilarious.
I agree.
The random segments and the everyday hero.
Yeah, that's pretty much the show.
Yeah.
So that's good. I like that.
It's the intro.
yeah.
One-
Intro and structure, no good.
One of the pieces of honest feedback that they decided to give us was, and this is pretty relevant, fix your editing. It makes me laugh every time.
Oh,
Which I think is the result of a few
what happens there?
new audio.
Yeah.
Like, do you not check?
I think at the moment we're doing a
What's
bit
your
of a different.
naming convention?
They're basically identical, which
They
I
shouldn't
think
be.
they're-
Yeah.
That's why we're coming.
They
a
should
bit
be in different
unstuck.
folders.
They are.
tagged differently.
They are. They
Well,
are.
Well, no.
They're not.
They are. But I
They're
think
incorrectly in the folders then. But you can just listen back to like 2 breaks and you'll be pretty sweet.
Well, you better believe I will be moving forward. And lastly, let's go with. Oh, all right. We're all friends here. Roast the lads, okay?
Yep.
Which is proving to be my favorite of the bunch.
Yeah.
I love listening to the pod, but I hate it because it makes me think of my ex situationship.
Ooh.
Can you tell I'm not over him? Again, we can't.
Oh, who is this? I want to know who this is.
Again, we can't.
This is juicy,
Yeah.
dude.
I wonder if the person
Could we
was
get
just
them-
No, what?
Can we get them back together?
Oh, well, they both.
They
Friends
could
of the
both
show.
be fans.
They could both
Imagine
be
if,
listening to this.
yeah, the other person could be listening to this.
Yeah, the lad,
Yeah.
the him.
The other person, the person who was broken up with, yeah, the him could be listening to this.
Yeah. That's true.
Get in contact. I don't know if you would know.
It's too hard.
But anyway, that's the fun and games of the MacPack performance review. Get in contact.
That was really good. Thanks for sending that in.
Yeah, they've
of
both
those.
been fantastic. So, and there's some good stuff that I didn't read out that is also very important. But less entertaining, more just
Yeah,
good,
well,
good
critical feedback.
good intel. But thank you to everyone who has already punched in. If you haven't yet, it'll be in our little, what do you say? Link in bio and our
Show
In the
notes.
show
show
notes.
notes
Are you
as
putting-
well.
do-
Yeah, I'm putting them in the show notes.
Fuck yeah. Do that, we can't edit them.
But yes, thank you. If you haven't already put your thoughts in, make sure you do, and you may feature. And it's fun because no one knows who you are.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Not
for-
even us.
Not a clue who they are.
That's the funnest part. But you'll be enjoying it, I've no doubt, if you punch it in and you hear someone read it out. with no
Yeah.
context.
You have all the knowledge.
You have all the power in this power balance.
That's exactly right.
Beautiful. Boys, until we do this time next week, stay safe, stay blessed. Happy Easter to everybody.
That's right. The Lord has risen. Oh, almost. Depends when you listen.
Yeah, he's having a rough day today.
Rest in peace.
Stay safe, stay blessed, and always remember to
Go give your mum a hug.
It's jumping out, but not forever.